No viewers watching your live stream? No problem. Welcome back to the Streamloots YouTube channel where we talk about everything streaming and Streamloots. My name is Preacher, and in today's video, I'm going to help you grow your channel from 0 viewers to, well, more than 0 viewers. Yes, I'm also talking to those of you out there who would be Mr. or Mrs. I watch my own stream with a fake account people. No, hey, I get it. Listen, I've been there before myself. I watched my own stream because I was doing quality control. Nothing wrong with that, but my guess is that it's probably not the goal that you have at the end of the day. If it was, I'm not really sure why you'd be watching this video, I suppose. Listen, I've been there before. I've been in the place where you're streaming for hours on end to absolutely nobody watching, and it can be extremely disheartening and extremely discouraging. I'd spend hours and hours working on things for my stream, I'd go live, and absolutely nobody would watch for several hours at a time. But over time, as I got more involved in the industry, learned a lot from other creators, developed inspiration, and created a plan, I was able to implement some basic principles that, when applied, helped me get out of that 0 viewer rut. And some of those principles I'm going to share with you in this video. Before we get into the video, just want to remind you that if you have not checked out Streamloots for your channel, it's one of the best third-party, fully customizable integrations for your community to both interact with you and support you at the same time. Viewers purchase chests that contain cards that you've customized that will impact what you do in your stream. To learn more about how Streamloots can help you make a living doing what you love, make sure to go to streamloots.com. All right, let's talk about how to grow your channel. My first tip is to think out loud and talk often. If you have 0 viewers, it's really easy to get into the mindset of waiting for somebody to show up before you start engaging with what you're doing. Something that's really important to understand about statistics of your viewership when you're streaming is that oftentimes people will come into your channel and your view count doesn't change immediately. This means that somebody could be in your channel without you ever even knowing. Now, going back to thinking out loud and talking often, your job is to fill the gaps with what your viewers are seeing. Yes, they are watching you play a game, but that's something that they can do on their own when they're playing the game themselves. So think out loud about what's happening in the game and dialogue about it. Now, I totally understand that this can feel awkward at times if you don't feel like there are a lot of people watching or engaging in your chat. But the reality is you're creating a conversation simply by thinking out loud. And that essentially should be your goal every time you stream when you're starting at 0 viewers, is creating a space for conversation to happen. So think out loud and talk often. And this brings me to my next point, which is relatability. And relatability is exactly what it is. It's the ability to relate with another person. Now, what's really important about this is that you have to recognize that the people that come into your channel, whether it's 1, 2, 3 people when you first start out, are actual people. Yes, I know this is mind-blowing, but they are actual human beings. So talk to them like they are actual human beings. I will say that the unique thing with content creation is that when viewers come into the channel, they might not always speak right away. So doing what we talked about first by creating conversation, by thinking out loud, is the first step. And then the second step is when they do decide to chat, being prepared to have a relatable conversation with them. Now, you already have the common ground of a game that they're interested in checking out, but it's okay to talk about things outside of the game. Conversation starters such as, what do you think about the game that I'm playing right now? Or tell me more about the games that you're excited about that are being released in the future. Every friendship and every community begins by people showing interest in another human being. I know this is mind-blowing, but take the time to get to know your viewers. Now, a little caveat with all of this is please, for the love of all that is holy, let your viewers make the first move. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen from content creators who are starting out is they overwhelm their viewers by calling them out before they've even said anything because they have some bot that shows when a new viewer has popped in the channel. This is literally one of the most off-putting things, in my opinion, to do to a person because some people are tuning in simply to watch no different than they would when they're watching Netflix. So respect the space, acknowledge them when they make a move to have that conversation, but until that happens, think out loud, create a space for conversation to happen so that when it does, you're ready to rock and roll. All right, next is something that I've talked about in other videos, but it is confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you can't expect others to have confidence in your content. Now, I know firsthand that confidence is not something that always comes naturally to every single content creator, and that's okay. I do believe that it is a skill that you can develop over time and through practice. Look at the time when you have 0 viewers or 1 or 2 or whatever that might be as an opportunity to hone your craft as a communicator with your viewers. There's less at stake when you're first starting out, so this is is a great time for you to develop that confidence by practicing things that you might say, learning how to ask open and closed-ended questions for your viewers, and thinking out loud. If it helps you, turn your viewer count off so you're not so focused on how many people are watching versus the conversation that you're creating. Most importantly, don't get down on yourself and don't sweat the small stuff. Keep your head up. You've got this. All right, my next tip to help you grow from 0 viewers is consider playing with your friends or your community. Playing with your friends can help build your confidence and also create really funny and shareable moments with your viewers when they're there, and it can help you create conversation with people who are watching. Playing with your community or maybe the few viewers that do end up tuning in is also a great way to get to know them. Now you might think to yourself, well, if I take them from the chat to come play in the game, then my viewership goes down and I'm not going to grow. You're going to get an opportunity to get to know them and for them to get to know you, which could in turn help them become a long-term supporter of your content. Now that we've talked about the benefits of playing with friends or some of your viewers, let's talk about this tip here, which is creating a community. One of the mistakes that I made early on was not having a place for my viewers to go when I wasn't live. Creating a hub like a Discord server is one of the best things to cultivate viewership for your channel. This is because you're giving people that are watching you a place to go to connect with you and each other when you're not live. Not only does this help you get to know them by having a place for them to share more about themselves, but it also gives you a place to let people know what's happening with your stream. This leads me to my next tip, which is to get involved in other people's communities that you connect with. Now, keep in mind, I specifically said that you connect with. Not communities that you can leech from, not places that you can just post you're going live, not places that you can pop in and say, hey, 1 second, and then bounce out to the next Discord server. I'm talking about places that you can actually embed yourself as a community member that contributes, grows, learns, develops friendships, a place where you can be what you would hope that people would be in your community at some point in the future. The thing I see a lot of people doing that I also did when I first started out with 0 viewers is I got involved in every single community that I could, and I cast my net really, really wide. I didn't really look at the kind of content that was being put up by the creator or the people who are in that community. I just simply was looking to get exposure. Let me lay on some tough truth for you. People can smell that out from a mile away. And in the end, it will probably hurt you more than it will help you. Yes, Elite Sniper 452 with no logo or any about information in their bio and only interacts in my live chat and Discord server when they want to tell people when they're live. It's not working.
I mean, come on, man. I've only posted like 14 times in the past hour that I'm going live. It's not that many times. I mean, the least you could do is at least just come check out my...
No. Sorry. Not gonna do it. Ultimately, the goal is to be involved in communities in meaningful ways. Don't get involved in tons of communities just for the sake of getting exposure. Get involved, contribute, and be a part of the community. You'll find by doing that, it has a much greater reward in your viewership over time than by looking for quick fixes to get quick viewers. All right, the next tip we're going to talk about is one that is super important and a lot of people are talking about it now, which is diversifying your content. If you're limiting your content to only when you're live on the platform that you're streaming to, you are making a big mistake. Going live and starting out that way is totally fine, especially when you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do with your stream. However, one of the best ways to grow your viewership early on is by diversifying your content across different platforms. The most successful content creators understand the principle of crossing over their content. This means having a place where you can do highlights from your stream with a link to your live channel, and then also in your live channel having a link to your social media platforms or your YouTube channel. So don't sleep on using multiple platforms. Now this segues perfectly into our next tip, which is taking advantage of the time when you're not live. I have talked about this so much with so many content creators who are spending hours and hours being live and little to no time working on their stream quality, reaching out to people within their community, or investing in other platforms like we talked about. The harsh reality is that if you're streaming for 0 viewers for 40 hours a week and not seeing any sort of growth, it might be a sign to reevaluate how you're spending your time. It might be more beneficial for you to stream less, cut your time in half, and take the rest of that time to do some of the things that we've been talking about in this video. So many people have this fear that if they're not live all the time, they're not going to get the exposure that they need to be discovered. But the reality is that your discoverability has far less to do with your time that you're live as it does with the things that you do when you're off stream. platform discoverability. Now, a lot of people will give this advice that you should play the game that you want to play, and I think that that's true. I think you should play a game that you genuinely enjoy because your viewers can sense what you enjoy and they feed off of that. And in order to be entertaining to your viewers, you need to be engaged with the game that you're playing. However, alongside of this, you have to understand that the game that you play can directly impact your ability to be discovered on any given platform. For example, if you're a Twitch streamer like I am, you're gonna have a hard time being discovered in the sea of content creators that are playing a AAA game like Call of Duty. Now, I personally love Call of Duty, and I think it allows me to provide really entertaining content for my viewers. However, I have to balance and understand the fact that I'm also streaming a game that many other people are streaming as well. This puts my stream farther down in the category. It makes it a lot harder for a viewer who's perusing Twitch to find my stream. Even if my stream is great, the quality's great, the sound's great, and the gameplay's great, and it's entertaining, all of that, it's not as discoverable. That being said, understanding that playing a game that is less popular, that has less streamers streaming that game, might be a better option in getting discovered as a creator. In my opinion, if you're looking to grow, you have to have an awareness of those things and not just write it off and say, play what you want to play only and ever and expect people to come find your channel. My suggestion is to find out when new games are being released and try streaming them maybe a day or two within your schedule to see how it impacts your discoverability as a creator on that platform. Now, obviously, the game that you're playing can impact discoverability, but so can the time of day that you stream. In most cases, people are going to be tuning in during prime time hours, which is typically between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. However, something that people often don't consider when they're starting out and looking to grow is that it may actually work out in your favor to stream during times when you're not in competition with several other creators. In fact, a lot of my friends in the industry have grown their channels by starting really early in the morning or starting really late in the evening. At the end of the day, I tend to have a harder time with the conversation of discoverability because it ends up creating a mindset where you're waiting for the right game or the right time to grow your channel. And while that's something to be aware of and be mindful of, I don't know that it would be as important as doing some of the things that we talked about earlier off stream to build into your live stream when you go live. All right, last one for this video is don't be afraid to ask for support. Now, I know what I just said and I know how it sounds, but please hear me out with what I'm saying. One of the things I see a lot of content creators miss is the invitation to people that they have relationships with to come check out what they're doing. Now, keep in mind what I just said, people that they have relationships with. One of the biggest reputation shredders I've seen a lot of content creators do, a mistake that they make is they spam every group, every community that they can possible with going live posts telling people to come and help them reach a certain amount of viewers or followers. I'm pretty sure there's no content creator out there, at least none that I know, that has grown their channel to a successful place by starting with going live posts and follow for follow posts, asking people who they don't know to come check out their channel. I'm simply saying try to start with the people that you know in your life, your friends, family. Ask for support. Just make sure it's with the right people and that you're not building a reputation by being the going live spammer in everybody's inboxes. And that's it for this video, you guys. I hope that these tips in this video will help you grow from that 0 viewer rut that you might be in. If this did help you, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up, and please let us know in the comment section below if any of these tips are things that you're doing right now, or if you have other things that you would add to the list. As always, to stay up to date with all things streaming and stream loots, don't forget to click that subscribe button, turn your alerts on so you don't miss out on the future content that we have coming out. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.